Hello, my dear students. Welcome to my channel Patel Science Academy. And as you know, this is Shehzad sir. And in this lecture, the name of the chapter that I have started is plant water relation. And this is lecture number 3 from this chapter. And in this lecture, I'm going to explain you about the different theories regarding the ascent of sap or the translocation of sap. But before we go in the detail of this all these theories, I would like to explain you some terms or some process that takes place in the process of translocation of water in the plant body. So dear students, what is this ascent of sap? Here two words should be understand by you. That is, one is ascent and another one is sap. So it is also known as the translocation of water. The translocation of water or ascent of sap means the transport of water with the dissolved minerals. It means plant get water and all the minerals from the soil, and this water is first mixed with the different minerals, and then it is transported from the root to the aerial part like the stem and leaves against the gravity. So the transport of the water with the dissolved minerals from the root to the other aerial parts is called translocation of water or ascent of sap. As you know, water is present in the plant body in the form of the weak solution of the minerals and salt, and this is nothing but the mixture. This is called the sap, and this sap is nothing but the mixture of the water with the minerals and salt. So when water get mixed inside the soil with the minerals and salt, then we call that mixture sap. And the movement of that sap, that is the upward movement of that water, that is called sap, from the root to the aerial part against the force of gravity, that is called the process of ascent of sap. And in the different theories we will learn about how this ascent of sap means the movement, upward movement of the water from the root to the aerial part like the stem and leaves against the gravity takes place, and this process is called ascent of sap. You can see here ascent of sap. This is leaves, and this is, you can see, this is that sap, and this sap is moving from the lower side to the upper side, and this is called the translocation of the water or the ascent of sap. So in this different theories we'll learn about this ascent of sap, and I hope you have understood about this ascent of sap or the translocation of that sap. Translocation of the water occurs through the lumen of the conducting elements of the xylem, tracheids and vessels in all the vascular plants. Ringing experiments has proved that the xylem is the path of the ascent of sap. This has been experienced or proved by the ringing experiments, and the several mechanisms or theories have been put forth to explain the mechanism of the translocation of the water, that is the ascent of sap. And the different theories includes the root pressure theory, that is called vital theory, relay pump theory, physical force theory, etc. And in this lecture we'll consider or we'll learn about all that theory one by one. So dear students, I hope you have understood about this ascent of sap. Now we'll go ahead and we'll learn about the different theories. So you can just see here the movement ascent of sap. So let me explain you. This blue color dot is the sap, and it is moving from the upward to the from in the upward direction from the lower sides to the upper side, and this is called the translocation. And it happens or it takes place by the two forces, that is adhesion force and cohesion force in the xylem cells. What happens with this water molecule and with the cells of the stem and cells of the roots, we'll see one by one here in this lecture. So just remember two words here, adhesion force and cohesion force. I'll explain you about that. Then one more process, that is called guttation. What is called guttation? The phenomenon of removal of water in the liquid form through the intact plant parts. This is called guttation. Guttation is nothing but the removal of water in the liquid form from the intact part of the plant. This is simply the guttation. It is done through the special gland, and that gland is called hydathode. So remember this term, guttation process, which is the removal of the water in the form of liquid from the intact plant parts. It takes place by the special gland that is called hydathode, and this hydathode is the special gland present in the plant body, which is responsible for the exudation of the waters. This exudate water contains the salt, that is the calcium salt in ferns, and evaporates off, and a white crust remains on the white crust remains on the surface. Therefore, these hydathode are also called chalk gland. So white is called chalk gland because the crust remains on the surface of some ferns, so it look like a chalk. That's why that hydathode with the calcium salt is called chalk gland. This is about this guttation process, the removal of the water in the liquid form from the intact part by the hydathode. And now we'll learn about the next part. That next part includes, before we go for the theories, let's see the guttation. You can see here guttation, the process of guttation. This is the plant stem, and you can see this drop of the waters exudate from this plant, from this part, and this is nothing but the process of guttation, because the removal of the water is taking place through the plant part, intact plant part, in the form of the liquid. One more slides of the guttation. You can see here these different dots are the plant drops, and it is coming out from this plant leaves by the process of the guttation. Here you can see again one guttation. At the border of this leaf, you can see the drop of the water has come out, and this is the liquid form of the water, and it is nothing but the process of the guttation. So this guttation has been it has taken place by the hydathode special type of gland, a special pore on the leaves of the higher plants that function in the exudation of the water, that is the removal of the water, that is called hydathode. Dear students, now we'll go for the theories. So in this theory, the very first theory includes the root pressure theory. Root pressure theory, according to this theory, the activity of the living cell of root is responsible for translocation of the water. So just try to learn it. The activity of the living cell is most important in the root. The root contains different cells, and that living cells activity is responsible for the ascent of sap, that is the translocation of the water. J. Priestley proposed this theory. When a stem of a potted plant is cut few inches above the soil by a sharp knife, the xylem sap is seen flowing out or oozing out through the cut end. This exudation or this removal at the cut end of the stem is a good proof for the existence of the root pressure. As the water absorption by root is constant and continuous process, a hydrostatic pressure is developed in the living cell of the cortex of the root, and that hydrostatic pressure is called root pressure. It has been termed by botanist S. Hales. It is due to the root pressure, water along with dissolved minerals is not only forced into the xylem, but it is also conducted upward against the gravity. Root pressure seems to be a largely an osmotic phenomenon, and its development is an active process. The factor like the oxygen, moisture, temperature of the soil, salt content, etc., all these factors influence the root pressure. So dear students, in the root pressure, the activity of the living cell is most important, and they play their role in the root pressure. which is actually a hydrostatic pressure developed in the living cell of the cortex. At the root cells, in contact with the soil, actively take up and minerals ions. This creates a difference in the concentration of these ions, but the roots between the roots and soil. Therefore, the water moves from the soil into the cells to eliminate this difference. So, there is a steady movement of water into the root xylem, creating a column of the water, and that is steadily pushed upward. This is due to the creation of the pressure, that is hydrostatic pressure, in the xylem vessels of the root. So, because hydrostatic pressure is developed there, that's why this theory is because hydrostatic pressure is developed there in the uh, cell of the root, that's why it is called root pressure theory. So dear students, root pressure theory, you can see here, I'll explain it. Just look at this structure. In this structure you can see, this is the root of the plant, and in this root these are the water molecules present in this soil, and these water molecules are moving into the root because of the hydrostatic pressure present in the cells of this root, and it is moving inside by this arrow you can see here, and it is moving because of that pressure into this root, and from this root it is going in the upward direction in the stem region. So this is because of the root pressure present in this root cell. Thereafter, in this xylem tube, you can see here, in this xylem tube, the force between these water molecules is there, and this water leave through the stomata, that we'll see in the transpiration process in detail. But simply, the root pressure theory, it includes the water movement from the soil into the root cell, and from the root cell into the xylem cells, and from this area into the upward direction, and likewise the movement of the water from outside to inside takes place, and this is only because of the root pressure that is present in the cell of the root or in the xylem cells. So this is about the root pressure theory. According to this theory, according to the Priestley, this water move in the upward direction, and likewise plant gets water by this root pressure. But dear students, there are some objection to this theory, objection or limitation of the root pressure theory. It includes, although ascent of sap takes place due to the root pressure, there are certain objections raised, such as number 1, it is not applicable to the plant taller than 20 meters, because it is responsible for the upward movement or pumping the water to the height of 10 to 20 meters only. After 20 meters length of the plant, root pressure doesn't work, it doesn't prove for that plants. Ascent of sap, or that is the translocation of the water, can also occur even in the absence of the root system. If you cut the root of some plants, still there will be a translocation of the water. That's why this is a big objection to this theory. Root pressure value is almost nearly zero in taller gymnosperm trees. One more objection is there: in actively transpiring plants, no root pressure is developed. Then one more is there: xylem sap under the normal condition is under tension, that is, it shows the negative hydrostatic pressure or high osmotic pressure. So this is about the objections to the root pressure theory, and this is about root pressure theory. Thank you very much, dear students. This is the lecture from the chapter plant water relation regarding the root pressure theory. About the next theory, I'll explain you in the next lecture. Till then, be happy and stay safe, stay home, and subscribe to my channel, like my videos, share it with your friends and all the needies, and comments for your queries, and press the bell icon so that you can get the instant notification of my new lecture. Thank you very much.